works. Today we're going to go in a little bit deeper about the differences between your conscious and your subconscious. Okay, so let's just get right into it, and I'm just going to read out of the book. So you must remember that the conscious and subconscious are not two minds. They are merely two spheres of activity within one mind. Your conscious mind is the reasoning mind. So it is that phase of the mind that chooses. So for example, you choose what books you're going to read. You choose your home, your partner, what you're going to eat, what you're going to wear, right, etc. You make all your decisions with your conscious mind. On the other hand, without any conscious choice on your part, your heart is kept functioning automatically, and the vital functions of digestion, circulation, and breathing are carried on by your subconscious mind through a process independent of your conscious control. Okay? Your subconscious mind accepts what is impressed upon it or what you consciously believe. So, it does not reason things out as your conscious mind does. It does not argue with you controversially. So it doesn't argue, it just basically obeys. So whatever you send, your conscious sends to your subconscious. It has no choice but to just say, okay. It writes it down, it jots it down, and it stores it in your library, in your cabinet, in your file, okay? And then, but your subconscious will only accept what is impressed upon it through belief, okay? So even if it's not true, if you have a thought, and this is where, and I'm going to get into what negative beliefs are. When you have a negative belief about yourself or others, and what is to believe, right? To believe. Beliefs are things that we feel strongly that are true, right? Even if they're not. So, and that's the important part to remember, is that we feel. A belief is something that we feel is absolutely true. Okay, so that's where, like, this is talking about that your conscious mind accepts what it impresses upon it or what you consciously believe, okay? That's the only way it will accept what the conscious sends to it. And that's why it does not reason, it does not argue, it just accepts it. So I hope that helps explain that little paragraph there. So your thoughts are active and they are seeds. Negative, destructive thoughts continue to work negatively in your subconscious mind. Sooner or later, they will emerge and take shape as an outer experience that corresponds to their content, okay? And that's why this series, these videos, it's titled Your Outer Reality is a Reflection of Your Inner Reality. Has a lot to do with what is stored in your subconscious mind, whether that's good or bad. So, remember, your subconscious mind does not engage in proving whether your thoughts are good or bad, true or false. It responds according to the nature of your thoughts or suggestions. So, for example, if you consciously assume that something is true, even though it may be false, your subconscious mind will accept it as true and proceed to bring about the results that must necessarily follow because you consciously assume it to be true, okay? So that just kind of goes back with the same thing with how I worded it, with that when your conscious mind impresses something to your subconscious, it has to do with your beliefs and what you feel strongly. The emotion, the feeling has to be attached to it as well to send that message to your subconscious, okay? Let's see. Experiments by psychologists. Okay, so I guess psychologists and others have performed countless experiments on people through hypnotic trance, and the research shows that clearly the subconscious mind does not make the selections and comparisons that are necessary for the reasoning process. Your subconscious mind will accept any suggestions, however, even if they're false. So, having once accepted any suggestion, it responds according to the nature of the suggestion given, okay? Um, let's see, this says to illustrate the suggestible your subconscious mind is if a practice hypnosis suggests to one of her subjects that she is Napoleon Bonaparte, it's a name, or even a cat or a dog, the subject will act out the part with inimitable accuracy. Her personality becomes changed for the time being. She believes herself to be whatever the operator tells her she is. Okay. Oh, this is under hypnosis. Okay. Because when you are under hypnosis, you can be more acceptable to suggestions. And that's how, when you get hypnotized and you see like people on the TV and stuff, and they can put them to sleep and then say, okay, now you are going to be a chicken when you wake up, and when you hear this bell, you know, every time you hear the bell, or when I snap my fingers, you will be a chicken, you will believe it. So that's what that's explaining. Okay, so that took me a minute to understand myself. So anyway, the terms subjective and objective mind clarified. Let's read what that is. So your conscious mind is sometimes referred to as your objective mind because it deals with outward objects. The objective mind is aware of the objective world. Its media of observation are five physical senses. Your objective mind is your guide and your director in your contact with your environment. You gain through observation, experience, and education, okay? As previously pointed out, the greatest function of the objective mind is that of reasoning. So, suppose you were one of the hundreds of thousands of tourists who visited the Grand Canyon every year. You would come to the conclusion that it is one of the world's most amazing natural wonders. This conclusion would be based on your observation of its incredible depths, the complex shaping of the rocks formation, the beautiful play of colors among the different geological strata. This is the working of your objective mind, okay? So your subconscious mind is often referred to as your subjective mind. Your subjective mind is aware of its environment, but not by means of the physical senses. So your subjective mind, the subconscious mind, perceives by intuition. It is the seat of your emotions and the storehouse of memory. Your subjective mind performs its highest functions when your objective senses are not functioning. In other words, it is that intelligence that makes itself known when the objective mind is suspended or in a sleepy, drowsy state. I feel like this is going into like when you're dreaming, okay? So, because obviously, and sometimes, and that was something else I didn't know when I was going to add that part in. And I feel like that sentence right there, sometimes we could say that, okay, so your conscious mind has to do with when you're awake in reality, right? When you're awake, when you are conscious. And, like, for instance, that's why they would say, like, if somebody gets knocked unconscious, they are no longer conscious, right? And then your subconscious has to do with when you are not awake, when you are sleeping, okay? So your subjective mind sees without the use of the natural gains of vision. Okay, so this is like when you're sleeping, okay, or your intuition. It has the capacity of clairvoyance and clairaudience. It can see and hear events that are taking place elsewhere. Your subjective mind can leave your body, travel to distant lands, and bring back information that is often of the most exact and truthful character. Through your subjective mind, you can read the thoughts of others, read the content of sealed envelopes, or intuit the information on a computer disk without using the disk drive. Once we understand the interaction of the objective and the subjective mind, we are in a better position to learn the true art of prayer. Okay, so this is getting a little deep, but and all of that is true. I do believe as well. So, your subconscious mind does not have the ability to argue or dispute what it is told. So if you give it wrong information, it will accept it as true. It won't argue. It will just accept it. Okay? It will bring your suggestions, even those that were false, to pass as conditions, experiences, and events. Give me 1 second. Addison, all done? I'll be right out. Okay, sorry about that. So anyway, where were we? I was on the next page. Okay. So this part says everything that has happened to you happened because of thoughts impressed on your subconscious mind through belief. And then this part says, if you have communicated wrong or distorted concepts to your subconscious mind, it is of the most urgent importance to correct them. The sure way to do this is by repeatedly giving your subconscious mind constructive, harmonious thoughts. So as these are frequently repeated, your subconscious mind accepts them. Okay, this is that habitual thinking, right? Okay, so habitual, which is repeated. So if you always have, and what this is saying in different terms is basically, if you have a negative beliefs, negative thoughts, negative beliefs, negative belief system, okay, that is how it will, that itself will affect your day-to-day life. Okay, and if you can figure out, or if you realize that you have these, it is important to correct them, because by doing so, it will change your life for the better. And I know this to be true because I did it myself. I had a whole bunch of negative beliefs, and I had thought patterns, core wounds. I had, childhood trauma, just situations, events, experiences that affected me, and therefore I impressed these experiences that I had throughout growing up and stored it in my subconscious. But a lot of it was very negative, and a lot of it wasn't true. So I'm going to read that again. The sure way to do this is by repeatedly giving your subconscious mind constructive, harmonious thoughts As these are frequently repeated, your subconscious mind accepts them. In this way, you can form new, healthier habits of thought and life. For your subconscious mind is the seat of habit. It will have no choice but if so. Let's say if you think that you are unworthy, that's gonna be my example, because I didn't think I was worthy, and at the time I was just getting out of a very long, very toxic relationship, and I would allow people to walk all over me, treat me very horribly, even though I didn't want them to treat me that way, but I was allowing it. Why was I allowing it? Because a long time ago I had told myself at some point in time through some type of experience I had that I was unworthy. I was unworthy to be treated good. I was unworthy to be loved. And those impressions were sent to my subconscious. My subconscious said, okay, jotted that down, stored it, and tagged it in Sarah's subconscious library. And therefore, that is how it responded. I responded to situations. So if somebody treated me badly, I would go, I guess I deserve it because I'm unworthy. And then I would just quickly forgive them and hope that they treat me better. You know, because in the back of my mind, I didn't think I was worthy, even though I wanted to be treated good. But those are the negative beliefs and thought patterns that I had created. And therefore, it was affecting my life in a negative way. Okay? So, you know what I did was a good way, which I'm going to suggest, is doing affirmations to change these negative thoughts, these negative beliefs about yourself or about others, or just in general about the world. It could be, you know, the possibilities or suggestions are endless, but you can take affirmations because these are positive statements that you repeat daily. And the whole point of repeating these positive statements about yourself or to yourself is so that way you can reprogram your mind. And your mind will have no choice, your subconscious mind will have no choice eventually after a few days or a couple weeks or even a couple months. It depends on the person, okay? And the situation and everything. But eventually, your subconscious mind will have no choice. So every day, if you stated, I am worthy, I am enough, I am worthy, I am worthy, I am worthy. Because saying I am is very powerful. You are making a statement about you. And I am has to do with your root chakra, but we're not going to get into that. So I just wanted to add that. So let's see here. So if you communicated wrong or distorted concepts to your subconscious mind, it is of the most urgent importance to correct them. Okay, and this also goes with, I think, the statement of saying, like, you should not talk bad about yourself. Like sitting there and saying, I'm stupid. Oh, you idiot, Sarah. You know, like stuff like that. Like it took me a long time, and still I have to catch myself when I do that. Because, you know, what everyone grew up in is like, and we all have done it. We're like, oh man, I'm so dumb, you know, just, and you're calling yourself names and not realizing that you've been doing this habitually. You know, it becomes something that you always do. Well, you eventually sent an impression to your subconscious because you consciously have been saying this about yourself. And so your subconscious has no choice but to go, okay, we're stupid, or I'm stupid. Writes that down, jots it back there, and then therefore you're going to probably behave stupid. That's how it works. So, the habitual thinking of your conscious mind establishes deep grooves in your subconscious mind. If your habitual thoughts are harmonious, peaceful, and constructive, your subconscious mind will respond by creating harmonious, peace, and constructive conditions. Have you fallen prey to fear, worry, or other constructive forms of thinking? The remedy is to recognize the power of your subconscious mind and decree freedom, happiness, and perfect health. Your subconscious mind being creative and one with your divine source will then start to create the freedom and happiness you have earnestly decreed. Okay, and this is so true. So, the tremendous power of suggestion. Let's see, we're already almost at 20 minutes. What is this one about? I think I'm going to read this. Well, we're already at 22 minutes. I'm going to read this last one. And then I think we'll end it from there. Yeah, because then the rest is just giving lots of... Okay, so the tremendous power of suggestion. As you can see by what we have already discussed, your conscious mind serves as a watchman at the gate. One of its most crucial functions is to protect your subconscious mind from false impressions. So the reason this is so important goes back to one of the basic laws of mind. Your subconscious mind is very sensitive to suggestion. It's sensitive to taking suggestions, so like one thing that I have been working on myself is to stop going, oh, like when I get frustrated and let's say, when it comes to cleaning and I say, oh, I'm so sick of cleaning. Well, I noticed that that's something that, I heard growing up is that phrase like, oh, I am so sick, but, blah, 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 and whatever the person would be complaining about. Therefore, I started saying it, not realizing that what I was doing was sending these suggestions and impressing this to my subconscious, and my subconscious would jot it down. And you know what? I started doing a little bit of experimenting when it came to that, and found out that when I would have my little episodes or frustrations and speaking in that manner and saying, I am so, and saying, that I'm sick or tired, within that next day or so, I would end up getting sick, or I would be very tired. I'd have no energy. So it's very important to remember how sensitive your subconscious mind is to taking these suggestions, okay? That's what I just wanted to add that. So as you know, your subconscious mind does not make comparisons or contrasts. It doesn't reason and think things out for itself. This latter function belongs to your conscious mind. Your subconscious mind simply reacts to the impressions given to it by your conscious mind. So it does not pick and choose among different courses of actions. It merely takes what it is given, okay? Suggestion is a tremendously powerful force. Imagine that you are on board a ship that is rocking a bit from side to side. You approach a timid-looking fellow passenger and say, gee, you don't look so hot. Your face is practically green. I'm afraid you're about to be seasick. Can I help you to your cabin? The passenger turns pale. The suggestion you have just made about seasickness links up with her own fears and foreboding. Anyway, so she lets you escort her down below deck. When she is there, your negative suggestion, which she accepted, comes true. Now, see, that is exactly the same thing that I was just talking about. I didn't even know that that's what it was going to say. So, there is my example, and this is Joseph Murphy's example. But the same thing, whether you're saying it about yourself or to somebody else, okay? And it is important to realize that different people will react in different ways to the same suggestion due to their own experiences and their own belief systems, etc., okay? So, This is because they have different subconscious conditionings or beliefs right there. Suppose instead of choosing a fellow passenger on the ship, you go up to a member of the crew and you say, "Hey, buddy, you don't look so great. Do you think you're about to be seasick?" Depending on the sailor's temperament, he either laughs at your feeble joke or tells you to get lost. So everyone will react to what you say and do differently due to their subconscious conditionings and their beliefs. All of us have our own inner fears, beliefs, and opinions. These inner assumptions rule and govern our lives. A suggestion has no power in and of itself. Its power arises from the fact that you accept it mentally. Only at that point do your subconscious powers begin to act accordingly to the nature of the suggestion, okay? So I think right there we're gonna leave it at that. But I want to just say one more thing. So like what I was talking about yesterday was, like that, growing up, I had heard that we only use 10% or a little percent of our brain. And because this was an older person, an elder, somebody I looked up to, people I looked up to, they were older and wiser. Like, why wouldn't I believe them if they said that to me? So can you see how that suggestion, and by being told that, and a lot of people believed it, and come to find out it's not true, it was a myth. But being given that information, that suggestion was told to me. And so I go, okay, we only used a little bit of our brain. And I sent that to my subconscious, and my subconscious jotted down, Sarah only uses a little percentage of her brain. Therefore, can you see how that would affect your day-to-day life? Because you told your subconscious that you only use a little bit of your brain, so that's what we're going to do. And that just blew my mind when I realized that, which was just last week when I was doing the research. I was like, oh my God, wow. There's a myth that started in the 1930s. And you'll still hear it to this day. Some will suggest that we only use 10% of our brain, where others say that it was a myth and we use our whole 100% of our whole brain. And I truly believe that. And our brain is our superpower, okay? Our subconscious is our superpower. And it affects our day-to-day lives. It's what creates our reality, is what is stored in our subconscious. So this will be the end of part 2 of explaining how your outer reality is a reflection of your inner reality. Thanks for stopping. Until next time. I think tomorrow or in the next couple days, when I can make the next video, we are going to talk about how to target these negative beliefs, with the tags, and just getting into more detail of that kind of stuff, and different techniques that you can do. Like one I'm going to get into is affirmations, and I think the next video will be about targeting and finding your negative beliefs, and what to do for the next step to reprogram or correct these negative thought patterns into harmonious, happy thought patterns for a better life. All right, until next time. Thank you. Mahalo.